Hey everyone, we're just talking today about the tactics that are used in gang stalking. Uh, you see that when I first and anybody that's sensitized, when I say, "Do you see that?" You're not going to say to me, "Oh, look at how crazy John is. He's a paranoid schizophrenic because he says, 'Do you see that?'" It's like, I mean, it's like, when you're sensitized to white cars, and white cars are mobbing you, white cars are following you, white cars are flicking their lights on, off and on. White cars are the only cars that are trying to seek to interact with you, and that interaction is always a negative interaction for month after month after month, day after day after day after day. The same manifest behavior, mathematically impossible, done all day through what appears to the casual observer as normal and ordinary, but it's the rate, it's the frequency, it's the sensitization, and then it's this ability, sensitizing you to abuse through trauma is a great way to, perpetuate abuse right in plain sight in the sight of others, because other people haven't been sensitized to that kind of trauma. So it creates this barrier in between you and people that are not targeted. But for the most part, what I think in society right now, I think so many people participate in this and are scared of their lives, just scared to death if they ever come out and talk about it, because the no non-disclosure agreements that are signed. When you're recruited by, people that are working for the threat fusion centers, to watch and spy on your neighbors, to use military-style tactics of war, and literally their military-style, like I would call this like a stay-behind army of trained people that are here to do one thing, and that's to destroy somebody that, you've seen the list, the 72 things that can get you on a watch list, which are ridiculous. And the thing with these kind of communist countries is that this kind of communistic Marxist idea is that they just expand the definition of what it means to be an extremist. And then pretty soon, everybody is an extremist. Everybody's reporting on their neighbors. Everybody's turning each other in as the true abusers and terrorists that are committing, I would say, worse than atrocities than we've seen in the past with Nazi Germany and everything else. But Project Paperclip, we brought them over. We brought the Nazis over after the Nazis showed trials, put them in NASA, put them at the heads of universities. Vernon von Braun, and so on. So, it's just the facts. But today, if you are being tortured under NDAA and labeled as an extremist terrorist and you go to try to get help for it, well, it can't be investigated. So everybody's been told to just make the target, make the victim of these crimes look crazy. Okay? And we have to understand that. And they will poison you. They will drug you, take incriminating pictures of you, so that if you ever do come out and if you ever do start talking about things, well, then they can just refer to those pictures and what a crazy, unstable party animal you are, or whatever it might be that they're trying to label you as. This is a game of discreditation. It is daily discrediting, whether it's impersonating you, which has happened millions of times to me, whether it's texting with my number, but it's not me, to try to weaken my connections to friends and associates and relationships, just constantly under attack, constantly triangulated, which is a form of narcissistic abuse. That's why I say this program is modeled. It's modeled after psychopathic pathological narcissism. When I say narcissism, I say, look at the tactics, type in Google, narcissistic tactics of manipulation and control, or narcissistic abuse tactics. Okay, narcissistic abuse tactics. That's all you got to do. And you'll see this program, this community-based, InfraGard, Citizens on Patrol, and then the local watch groups with the Business Watch and with everybody on board with this kind of policing, this kind of elimination. This is mob rule. It's whoever we decide is an enemy, and there is no restraint. It's just full-on torture, full-on abuse. And, I just am coming to you in these videos because, they've already put me in a hospital before. You know what I mean? And, and that's, in the beginning of all this, I started noticing people mirroring my likes and dislikes and would catch little things, and then started noticing that people all around me were just mirroring me, mirroring my likes and my dislikes, mirroring what I liked, seducing. And then each and every one of those people that would, that I would catch, it's like, you're a narcissist. You don't really like that. That's not really what, you don't have an opinion of your own. That's why you, like a vampire, have to steal my identity even and pretend to be me and go and spread it around to people and, make a bad name for me. That's how desperate you are. You know what I mean? So, if you expose that you're being tortured covertly and overtly, covertly to the masses, overtly to you, because they want you to know. That's part of the psychological nature of this program, is they want you to know that there's nothing you can do about it, that they can come in your house, they can break in your car, they can do whatever they want to you. And there's nobody that's going to hear you, nobody that's going to listen to you. That is the hyper game theory that they play on when they get a target in that position. Then they start to gaslight the target. So it's all timed out. It's all engineered. These people come in your life. They function as a unit, as teams. They move them in adjacent apartments. If you don't believe me, just look at Homeland Security funding and buying up property, okay? Neighborhoods, apartment complexes, but especially apartment complexes, okay? So these operations are going on 24/7. It'd be interesting to know, like, a lot of the marriages, a lot of the people that had good, solid relationships, it'd be interesting to know, in your relationship to take notice of this tactic of mirroring, to catch those that are fake, those that are not real, those that are acting, those that are lurking and spying and acting. And the narcissist has no shame. You know what I mean? They just will act one way with you and then act a totally different personality with someone else. You know what I mean? Because that's the way they roll. Anyways, I just wanted to say this really quick. Watch for the mirroring. Watch for the mirroring. Watch also for the, just mirroring your likes and your dislikes.